Good evening and welcome back to the number one group of six college football show on the planet. This is the Group of Five Guys presented by FanDuel. And our mission is to be the voice for the group of six football programs, the voice that the mainstream sports media and all their friends absolutely refuse to be. We need your help to do that. Hit the follow button on all the social media platforms at Group of Five Guys. Go to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Believe Network, wherever you get your best podcasts. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a 5-star rating and a review. Most importantly, tell your family and friends all about us. On this episode, we're going to talk about the American Conference, which head coaches in particular are under the most pressure to win right now. Of course, we got to give a little update on the 2014 playoff and some of the opinions floating around there. Plenty more. Hope you enjoy the show. This is the Group of Five Guys, and we are coming to you live.
They got Old Dominion week 3, and ODU is by no means a layup. The Group of Five Guys told me that, so that has to be true.
Looked at each other. We was like, Mike, the best place to be is a Group of Five. So I'm sitting here with the Group of Five guys, right?
Troy has won. It's been a winner, and it's a special place. So it's why you want the job.
But it's a ton of fun to watch a guy go to the NFL from a Nevada or a Colorado State or a Middle Tennessee or an App State, and fans follow that kid.
It was across there. You want to have this thing packed out, have the student section packed out, giving those guys hell on the sideline. I mean, that's part of it. I mean,
win or lose, like we're winning the tailgate.
There's no better place to be developed in this country than Boise State.
Jeff, how the hell are you, pal? Did you have a good Memorial Day weekend?
Good Memorial Day weekend. Played a little baseball. Dom had a little baseball tournament on Saturday, got rained out, so we did it all on Sunday. But all in all, great weekend. Monday was just hanging out at the pool, buddy's house. So been busy.
Do you not miss, and maybe you've gotten to do it because your kids are a little older, but like I'm not there yet. Do you not miss just playing catch? Like I can't wait till my kids are old enough to just be like, put your glove on, let's go out in the street, get about 90 feet away, toss, Oh,
we're doing it. We're doing that. We're doing all types of stuff here at the Murphy complex.
That's great.
Sprouse, last day of school was today for the older boys.
Good.
We're going to a baseball tournament in Panama City. Joe, Emerald Coast, be down that neck of the woods. When they get back, we're Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the Iron Paradise. We're pushing sleds. We're throwing med balls. We got bands going. Summer program starts. There's no rest in the Murphy household.
No, there's no rest because Jeff, if not now, then when? When are you going to get? Somebody's
got to carry the boats, Russ.
I've talked to you about this gentleman before, and I won't get into specifics. I don't want to give away a lot of my personal life. My next door neighbor is a big time high school athlete. Okay. To put it lightly, I don't think we'll be talking about him on this show very often. Very often. No disrespect to anybody. We may see him in a playoff at some point. But anyway,
Boise.
He is a running back. I get fired up because him and his dad are out there in the mornings when I'm leaving for work. He's got him out there doing the farmer's carries up and down the street. I say, hey, look, man, I got whatever you need inside the Sprouse garage. If you need to borrow some equipment, because I want to play a part in this guy.
No doubt.
But anyway, Jeff, I played a little golf this weekend.
Yeah, and with
me
an old
and the
friend.
Old flag bear got together. We met. Honestly, it was pretty almost to the minute, a halfway point between where the two of us are at here in Georgia, and played a little golf in a town called Noonan. Really nice. Noonan is nice.
Yeah.
I tell you what, we went to a little country club out there. I played some great ball. Now, don't ask me what I shot because, I don't really know accurately after the front nine. The scores were a little blurry. But I played some damn good golf, Jeff. And now I'm itching to play again. But as you know, it won't be that good the next time I play. So a little bit, but anyway, then just kind of hung out. Yeah, man, just hung out around the house.
There you go.
Had some, had the water slide up in the backyard a little bit. Let the kids slide around on there.
Starting to get hot. I mean, we are dipping right into summer.
Ain't no starting, bro. It's hot, man. It's been raining down here, so like the humidity is getting you. But anyway, Jeff, we got a lot to talk about today. There's been a little breaking news: a bipartisan legislation proposed by, I believe, old Teddy Cancun Cruz on the Republican side. I can't remember something Cantwell on the Democratic side, I believe. But supposedly, what is it called? The Protect College Sports Act?
Yeah, the Protect College Sports Act. And what the highlights of it is you get the one-time transfer, 5-year eligibility. They're calling it the Lane Kiffin rule, preventing coaches from leaving mid-season before the season's over, banning all pro players, including international pro players. And then here's the other thing, and I hadn't quite dug into the nitty-gritty on this, but it's saying that it's giving schools the opportunity to collectively pool rights. And I assume this is referring to media rights. It says a minimum threshold of 75% of 138 FBS schools must be reached to pool the rights. Even if the Big Ten and SEC did not sign off and the rest of FBS did, it would be over 75%. Now, does that mean that the SEC and Big Ten would be forced to pool rights? That's my question.
Well, so is that
so,
why?
Yes.
Is that why you've heard Kirby Smart and a couple of them over the last couple of days, sort of echoing the whole "we got to break apart" or break away, we'll do it, kind of making that threat again? That's kind of reared its head again. Is that why? Is that the cause of that?
I would assume so. I mean, they don't want to split their big bag of money.
No, they don't.
So.
And yeah, the Protect College Sports Act, which the last thing that'll do is protect college sports. What else is in the thing? You know what I mean? Because those 4 bullet points, sure as hell ain't the whole bill. Look, probably
all I know is that the fact that the SEC does not want it makes me
fair.
Kind of want it.
That's fair.
Solves the transfer issue we've been talking about ad nauseum. I think you got to go with the 5-for-5 rule at this point. I love the fact that your clock starts at 19. It didn't specifically say that on this bill. I think you should roll with that, because then that's going to eliminate seniors that are 27, 28 years old still in college playing against 19, 20-year-olds.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you never know. What else is in it? How likely is it to actually happen? There's been a bunch of these bills floating around the last year or so, but it's again, we've talked about this since the onset of the show. Is like, it seems like everybody has the same issues. We got to shorten the season. We can't have this unlimited transfer. We can't have this unlimited NIL, but yet like they just keep, like, I don't know a soul that doesn't think those things need to be reeled in, but yet they can't come to an agreement on anything. And, they go to court and then they get sued and they lose. And then, that's when you get the Diego Pavias of the world that play for however many years. And it just goes on and on.
I would assume since this was it would be legislation pushed through the federal government that you wouldn't. I mean, you'd have to take it to the Supreme Court, which, I mean, that's that would get dicey in its own right. I will say this, and I don't know if it was just lip service or what, but Kirby Smart was talking about how the direction it's going. A lot of people want the SEC and Big Ten to break away, but he's like, if that happens, then we're going to lose the rest of all the sports. He's like, and I don't want that. He goes, I love the Olympic sports, like football funds all of that, and I want it to continue, because if those schools just pull away, does that mean all the other sports no longer can play anybody outside of those 2 conferences or their own conference?
Yeah, I don't know.
You get in the dicey water.
I don't know. It's very interesting. Speaking of this, I didn't put this on the outline or anything, Jeff, but what about everybody just taking shots at Ole Miss over the last like 2 weeks. Have you seen this? I mean, Lane Kiffin comes out first and says that he couldn't recruit black players because, Ole Miss was,
I
had
didn't see that.
racist. Oh yeah, he came out and said that, and then I think Dabo Sweeney took a shot at Ole Miss for tampering in the portal, and all these guys taking shots at Ole Miss. Which, hey, screw Ole Miss, I don't care. But at the same time, it's like, well, hold on a second, LSU. You know what I mean? And it's funny. It does bring up a point where it's interesting because. And Lane Kiffin, I mean, this guy's a world-renowned scumbag. So, like, it's not like this is everybody doing the things he does. But I find it so funny that, these coaches will leave a program in the hopes of winning a national championship, right? And like as we talk about playoff access and what teams and what conferences should get in. But you have a guy that leaves Ole Miss who's in the CFP, who ended up being, a game away from playing for a national championship, a play away from being in the national championship. He leaves there to go to LSU because he has a better chance to win a national championship. Brian Kelly leaves Notre Dame for LSU because he doesn't think you can win a national championship at Notre Dame, but you can at LSU. So that goes to, I don't know if I'm for the 2014 playoff or any of that, but like these coaches are at top 10 programs, blue bloods, and they're like, we can't win here. I gotta go to another place.
Yeah.
And for what it's worth, in those two examples, both of those schools have actually been much closer to a national championship than LSU in the past. When those coaches made that move. So it's very interesting, man.
Yeah, well, according to FanDuel, Sprouse, lateral move because they got LSU plus 2,200 to win the national championship, and Ole Miss is plus 2,200 to win the national championship. So,
what does FanDuel have on the odds of the New York Knicks winning an NBA championship?
Winning an NBA championship?
I mean, well, yeah, Jeff, they're not going to win a damn NFL championship.
I know. You're going to make me.
Sorry.
You're going to make me dig here.
Well, I bring that up because they're in it. And I don't think that the
plus
Knicks
220 to win the NBA championship.
I don't think that they're capable of beating the Thunder or the Spurs.
Well,
barring a Wemby or an SGA injury or something like that.
But when you also got to beat the referees,
and both of the Spurs and the Thunder have an interesting whistle, especially the Thunder. I mean, we talked about this the last time we got on here, Jeff. I mean, they have made basketball hard to watch.
I can't stand watching them, and I hate the Spurs, but I'm rooting for the Spurs.
Me too. They're the ones. At least I respect them as an organization. The Thunder, I appreciate how the Thunder are like a new organization and have built championship program basically. The Spurs, at least, I mean, I respect them. They've got titles. They've, for the most part, done it the right way. You know what I mean? But anyway, the Knicks. Here's why I ask you this, Jeff, because I got to thinking, and somebody put this on Twitter as well. But that fan base they're already belligerent. I mean, these guys haven't won a title since most of America has been alive. I mean, 1973, I think, is when the Knicks last won a title, something like that. And these guys, they act like, I mean, they take more power to them, dude, but they take over every arena. It pisses me off. So much, especially for my Heat. Because all them assholes live in Miami.
Yep.
New York sucks so bad. So they live in Miami. They've been taking over Philly, like places that have pretty good fans. Cleveland, that have good fan bases. I don't know if they'll be able to do it in Oklahoma City. San Antonio, they probably will do it. I imagine there's a lot of freaking transients that live in San Antonio. Oklahoma City, I don't know. They got more of that college vibe crowd. But is it not similar? I mean, I got to thinking of the college football fan bases that would be as insufferable as Knicks fans. And there was one that immediately came to mind, and it's so damn similar in everything to taking over stadiums and all the stupid shit that they do. I mean, is it not the Tennessee Volunteers?
It is. I knew. That's who I thought you were going to go with.
I mean, it's almost like
it's bad.
And you could compare it, right? Because I was like, Celtics fans, they suck too. But you know what? The Celtics, as much as I hate them, they've won some championships, right? They're kind of like the Bama, right? Like they're a little annoying, but they win. You know what I mean? Like they're always in it. But the Knicks are like Tennessee. They haven't been good in decades. And they're good now. And oh my God, it's already bad.
Every year they're back.
And they have all their chants, and it's that their whole identity is that they're from New York. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Just
Same
like the
with
Tennessee fans, their whole identity
it.
is GBO or whatever they VFL or whatever they say.
Fall for life.
Oh, disgusting. Anyway, one more thing before we get into the coaches. Watching any NCAA baseball? Sunbelt's got 5 teams.
Look at that
in the tournament.
I hadn't
Sunbelt's
watched any
baseball. I hadn't. Well, it's not never on TV because the only ones that are on is like the SEC, and they're on the SEC network.
Yeah, well, a lot of them I think are on ESPN Plus,
but you got. I think Hattiesburg's the only place that's hosting a regional. So Southern Miss. I mean, they're a top 10 program. Coastal's really good. Troy is in. I think the Cajuns got in. I'm trying to think who the 5th one is, but Troy, I believe. This might be incorrect. Joe, you'll correct me if I'm wrong here. I believe Troy, the only non-Power 5 school that had, was it a bowl team in football, men and women's basketball in the tournament, and a baseball team in the tournament? Is that right?
Like that, yeah. I remember seeing that.
Only one, and only like 10
Jack
programs in all. What's that?
You got Jack States in it?
Yeah. There's a lot. I mean, I know Auburn is hosting. I may get over and try to watch a little baseball.
ECU?
It'd be fun for us to go catch it.
Texas State.
Texas State's the other one.
Interesting.
Some good baseball clubs.
Liberty. Got the Cajuns.
So you got a couple. Conference USA.
Oregon State, Washington State. We'll claim.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
Nice. NIU.
I know the whole damn SEC's in.
Coastal.
I mean, just about every one of them.
Coastal, NIU, Missouri State. Yeah, we got chance.
Well, when you talk like Coastal, Southern Miss, East Carolina, I mean, those are baseball. They're not mid-major baseball programs. You know what I mean? Like
bet your ass we're claiming them.
Oh, there ain't no doubt. They're in a quote unquote group of 5 conference, and they don't have the money that those SEC ones have. So you're damn right it counts. Let's talk about American, Jeff. So we're going to talk about coaches in particular, head coaches that have pressure. We're not, the type to get up here and call for somebody's job or say somebody's on the hot seat unless it's obvious, right? So we're going to do it this way. Broke it down into a couple categories. So all the coaches have some level of pressure, but we kind of put it like this. Is the pressure coming from the fans? Is the pressure coming from the administration? And that's where it means, maybe jobs on the line. Or is the pressure coming from a personal, just a competitive nature of the coach? Or they got no pressure. I mean, these guys are just coasting right now. So did this thing in alphabetical order. We'll go coach by coach, talk about what level of pressure they've got to win this year, to win right now. We'll start at West Point. We'll start with Jeff Monken at Army.
Yeah, I think Monken is going to be the coach pretty much for as long as he wants, unless he just starts really racking up some bad seasons. I would say there's self-pressure because he holds himself and his program and his players to a very, very high standard. I don't think there's fan pressure. I don't think there's administration pressure, but I think that he holds himself. I mean, just kind of like the Army motto, right? Like held to a higher standard than everybody else. Like he's got his own, like this is the acceptable, product on the field, season, teams we should beat, all those things, especially from just, winning the American 2 years ago.
That's right.
But I think Monken self-pressure, but not much else.
Yeah, I said zero pressure. I mean, they're 2 years removed, like you said, they're 2 years removed from a conference title, and many would argue, you know, could have or should have had a CFP spot that year. I mean, you were what? You lost to Notre Dame, and that was it that year?
Yeah.
And they kinda got X'd from there, but they've had enough success against the other academies too. They won the American. They're he's he's not going anywhere. I mean,
No.
he seems like he wants to be there. They want him there. The fans like him. They just upgraded the stadium. So I mean, that guy. There's not a lot of pressure anyway at an academy, like as far as pressure to go win 10, 11 games. But they've done that at Army, and so he's good. Interesting one. Tim Albin at Charlotte in year 2.
I think he's got a little bit of a pressure. I don't think he's in any type of seat where it could go south and they want to remove him. But you went 1-11 last year. I think people are going to give you a little bit of grace in your first year, but definitely going to need to see like at least somewhat of a jump. Now, you should be able to win more than one game, I would think. I hadn't dove into their schedule yet.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, the Americans about as tough as they come, but I'm going to say there's a little bit of fan pressure. People had high expectations of him coming in, so I don't think he's in any immediate danger.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I said himself because I think I thought the turnaround would be pretty immediate. I think the fans thought that. So, Charlotte fans, like, they haven't really had success. So he's not a guy that's coming in replacing a conference champion or even a bowl team, really. So their fans are patient, but also I think they thought, oh my God, we got our guy.
Yeah.
And then in year 1, they're like, oh, wait, so I think they'll start to get a little antsy if it doesn't go a lot better this year. And when I say a lot better, you're right. Yeah, 3 or 4, 5 wins. You win 5 games at Charlotte this year. I think everybody's going to be, hey, now we're ready. Now year 3 is where we start to compete. Maybe in this second, maybe in this top tier of the American. I think Tim Albin probably thought it would be quicker.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he takes that job if he doesn't think it can be immediate turnaround. But I think the fans are patient. The admin is going to be patient, right? They know this guy's a program guy. He's not trying to take the next job the minute they win a few games. So they'll be patient with him. I think he's got pressure on himself. And all these guys are going to have pressure on themselves because they're all, super competitive guys. But not a whole lot of pressure coming from any other angle.
Yeah, and you got to look too the cupboards were bare, like going to Charlotte. So he, tried to bring some guys in, but year 1's tough. We'll see how they do in year 2.
Blake Harrell at East Carolina.
I don't think there's much pressure on Blake Harrell at all. Now, you start the season slow, I think that pressure could potentially build, but 9-4 season last year where outside of probably ECU fans, a lot of people thought they'd probably be a 500 team, maybe a little bit over, but I thought they had a great year last year. So I don't think there's a lot of pressure at this current moment, but I think expectations are for them to be competing for an American championship.
So spot on. That's almost to the T what I had on my notes for East Carolina. Is like, nobody's calling for his job. Nobody's unhappy. Nobody thinks that he's not the guy. But bowl games are great. 9 wins is great. Beating NC State is great. But now it's time for East Carolina to be competing with Tulane and Memphis and South Florida and Army in that top tier of this conference. Again, 9 wins is cool. Bowl games are cool. But now it's time to go win this conference and put yourself in a potential college football playoff conversation for East Carolina. But yeah, again, I think that pressure is probably more on himself than anybody else.
Agreed.
Florida Atlantic, Jeff, Zach Kittley.
I think there's a bit of self-pressure there, but I don't think FAU's fan base or their admin is expecting, a crazy turnaround. You know what I mean? I think their offense showed signs of what Kittley's, kind of perception was. They just got to be more consistent. So I'm going to go self-pressure. I think same thing with a lot of great coaches. You have a high expectation of what you expect from your players, from your program, what you see, every Saturday out there. So I'm going to say there's self-pressure. I don't think there's fan pressure. I don't think there's admin pressure just quite yet. But he wants to make a jump. They were 4-8 last year. So
yeah. Well, and I think too, one thing you have to think about too is like pressure to win now, right? Like some of these guys we're going to get into in a second. It's like pressure for you, buddy, is like you better win 11 games and you better win this conference. Some of these other guys, it's like pressure for you is, hey, we just want to see some improvement, and you'll answer the call. And I think that's where FAU is. I think that's where Zach Kitley is. I think he's going to get it a little bit from the fans, but mostly himself. This is supposed to be the offensive guy, right? They're going to bring back Feldkamp again, right? I mean, it's just everything I know, which is why, I'm so like disillusioned with the portal now. Like when I see a guy that's like a 2-year starter, I'm just like, holy, in my mind, I'm like, this guy's been in college forever.
Yeah.
But they're just, a junior, and they've just been at the same place for more than 1 year. So it's an anomaly for me. But anyway, this has got to be a top offense at least. I don't think they have to go win 10 games. I don't think anybody's expecting them to win this conference. But they need to. Last preseason, when we talked about FAU, we talked about them being this team that they're not going to win it, but they'll be that dark horse that beats somebody at the end of the year that they shouldn't beat, that ruins somebody's season. I think they need to be that this year because they weren't really that last year. They need to be there this year. As we've always said with FAU, they're going to have talent. They're going to have skill position especially. They got their quarterback. They got their coach that's the offensive guy. They better at least put up some damn numbers.
Agreed.
Go to Memphis. Charles Huff. I mean, it's all the above, right?
Yeah.
And it might not even be fair for him.
Yeah, I'll let you go. I started the last couple of them.
Well, here's what you have to remember about Memphis is there was noise about Silverfield and about, they had always been good, but never got over the hump. Like they'd always been good. You think, 10 games, yay. But this is Memphis. We got the facilities and the fan base and the resources and the money and some of the NIL that nobody else can touch in the group of 5. Maybe South Florida, maybe. And, we're winning 9 games, we're winning 10 games or whatever, but we're not winning the conference. We're not making it to the playoff, which we should be. So there was going to be some pressure on Ryan Silverfield it was probably for Silverfield CFP or bust, in my opinion, if he doesn't take the Arkansas job. So Huff now comes in as the guy that you won a title at Marshall. You go to Southern Miss and you have them close immediately. I mean, I think like I don't think he's got a ton of admin pressure, but I think if they're not at least in a championship game, I think there's going to be some noise, especially because, look, I like him. I like kind of his mindset. I like that he says kind of whatever he feels like saying. He does it the way he does it, and if you don't like it, too bad. I like that. But if things don't go well, then people are quicker to turn on you, if that makes sense. But I think for Memphis, dude, I mean, they are in – like, we've got to win right now, no matter who's there, no matter who's the coach, no matter what. So I think he's got some pressure.
I agree. I think most of it comes from the fans. Like you said, I don't think there's going to be a ton of admin pressure in year one. And people were constantly saying on social media, and even some people we talked to, like, yeah, we like Silverfield, but he's never won anything. He's kind of underachieved. We'd be right there, and we get to the end of the season, and we drop games that we shouldn't. So hadn't won a conference title since 2019. Their fan base wants it. They have no excuses. I think there's a bit of fan pressure, and then obviously the self-pressure he puts on himself. But I don't think there should be much pressure on him, but I think there is.
No, and I think a lot of the pressure is because of what's happened there in the past few years. Is it's like
it almost carried over.
Yeah, it's almost like we don't care who it is. Like we should be winning. Like there's no reason we, have a comeback against South Florida and then lay an egg against, Tulane or Navy or whoever it was last year. And like, there's a couple of these guys too, and I think Huff is one where I don't think this guy's not. I mean, it's clear this guy's trying to climb the ladder. And before he went to Marshall, he was an assistant at Alabama under Nick Saban. So, like, let's not pretend like this guy's long-term play is to be the head coach at Memphis. And I think there's going to be a couple of guys that we talk about that with. I think Brian Hartline, to be specific, is like that. So for him, the pressure is like, I got to go win so that I can take the next thing. Unfortunately, now, I'm of the school of like, dude, you can win at Memphis. So why would you, why go to Arkansas where you can't win? I mean, let's just face it. You're not going to win that conference. You're not going to get close to winning that conference. Memphis, you're going to be in the conversation every single year you play in the American, every year. And you're good enough that, and your brand is good enough, you'll get the occasional SEC matchup. You'll get Ole Miss every once in a while. You'll get Arkansas, and you'll beat them. So why not? Why not Memphis?
Yeah, I don't foresee Silverfield unless he just does a complete kind of turnaround. I just don't see it happening at Arkansas for him. And our good buddy Pitt 13-9 in the chat makes a good point. He says Memphis has the toughest schedule in the conference. Road trips to UNLV and Boise, ECU, Army, and Temple at home, Tulane, South Florida, and Navy on the road.
Ooh.
Tough sledding.
Tough sledding. It's tough for everybody.
It is.
The American stuff. But, yeah, you're non-conference. Oof. But, hey, that was a great game. When Boise came to Memphis and we went, that was a phenomenal ball game. That was the first time we were confused as to why they were Taylon Green and Maddox Madsen were just like randomly rotating. But what about Navy, Brian Newberry? I mean, I think he's about the same as Monken.
I agree.
I mean, I think they both have a lot of what's the word I'm looking for here? Like they've got a reputation built up where I don't think they're untouchable per se, but I think both him and Monken have had so much success that those schools are like, we got to keep this guy.
Yeah.
I think those guys want to be there. And so I don't think there's any pressure. Now, I will say this about Navy. It's kind of the same thing for Army this year is, okay, well, now you lost your guy. Now you lost Captain America at Army. Now you're losing Horvath at Navy. So now what? You know what I mean? You have these generational guys, and Navy had freaking 3 guys get drafted. It's unheard of.
Yeah.
Unheard of. So now what? And can you sustain that success maybe without those guys? And then again, get into where you compete all the time, but get into where you're in that Memphis, Tulane, South Florida, where you're the favorite every year, in and out, like year in, year out. We know Navy's going to be there. That's what I want to see from them.
If Navy happens to, I would say, have a similar product, at least, up until that Notre Dame game, I'm going to be very impressed because you lost 3 incredible players that put up a ton of production. So I don't think there's a lot of pressure there. I think, like you said, Monken and Newberry are safe. And like everything else in the government, very slow to fire. So I don't think there's much pressure.
True. That's very true. It's slow to fire. Yeah, I'm with you. North Texas is very interesting. Neil Brown, who, if you talk to people that have been around Neil Brown, love the hire. Wasn't like a splash per se, like maybe Huff or like Brian Hartline, but maybe a better long-term play at North Texas. I think from the fans, I think, and it's because fans are, and this is not a knock on North Texas or any fan base, fans are so quick to be spoiled by success. And when they get a taste of it, they want it all the time. And so they were right there, man. They were a game away from playing in the college football playoff. And they lose a lot. They lose a ton. So I think he'll get some grace there because, it's not like you got Mestamaker coming back. It's not like you got the running back coming back. But they've poured some resources in at North Texas. So I think like the admin's got some patience for him. But not a ton I think the fans will be patient. I don't think they're going to expect 11, 12 wins. But like if it goes south and it becomes, you're fighting for bowl eligibility, I think there will be some grumbling in Denton.
Yeah, I mean it's going to have. There's definitely going to be a bit of fan pressure, I think, for sure. Right? Anytime you're following just multiple, not only like great seasons, but potent offensive seasons, your fan bases get accustomed to that. So it's a hard act to follow. Hopefully, they can try and find some guys. I mean, they lost everybody. Oklahoma, they're all at Oklahoma State. So,
but which, by the way, Jeff, sorry, I gotta interrupt you for a second.
Good.
I just remember your buddies over there at Bussin' with the Boys when North Texas and Tulane were getting ready to play for the American, and they were just, almost roasting Mestamaker. Well, that's the G5. That guy never even played in high school, comes off the street, starting quarterback at conference championship game. That's G5. That's what it is. Well, now go look at every transfer portal ranking that comes out by anybody, whether you like them or not, and look at who's the top one or two guys in the country as a transfer. It's Mestamaker. And then go look at the running back who's right behind him. And then go look at the receiver who's right behind him. And it's like, all of a sudden, these guys that you didn't think were good enough to earn a college football playoff spot, all of a sudden now they go somewhere else. And now, this is the best portal class in the country. These guys are going to turn Oklahoma State around. Oklahoma State is a team we got to watch out for. Drew Mestamaker is on the Heisman watch now. But 6 months ago, we're talking bad about the guy, like as if he just got done, working the cash register at Publix to playing in a playoff game. Kurt Warner did that, by the way.
Yeah, sure did.
Anyway,
wasn't Publix, but
no, wasn't it? What was it?
I don't know. I think it was probably Piggly Wiggly.
No, he wasn't in the South. It was probably it had to be. Where was he?
I think it was somewhere in like.
What did he play in
Kansas?
Canada or something?
No, it was. Well, he did, I think, at one point, but
if it was Texas,
sure it was like
what's in
Kansas
Texas? HEB or one of those. Anyway, way off topic. North Texas, I don't think a little bit of fan pressure. I think for Neil Brown.
Great.
What about at Rice?
I don't think there's a ton of pressure at Rice. I think 5-8 a year ago, I would say their fan base was probably like, okay, I could see that year one. Now, I think they're going to want to see an improvement. They're definitely not going to want to see 3 wins or 4 wins. I'm just not 100% sold on this offense.
On what the offense got? Yeah.
Like I need to see more of it. They got to find a couple, like at least one big time playmaker, I think, that can take it the distance. I don't think they quite had that last year, but I don't think there's a ton of pressure at Rice. I think that's just kind of like their expectation. So I'm gonna say zero pressure, but it could start to build up pretty quick if they start slow.
Well, and here's the thing. It's been since 2013 that Rice had a double-digit win season. So, like, they're not like, that's not the expectation there. Now, what's going to start happening is when you look at the American in particular is when you see Tulane make the playoff and you see South Florida and Memphis and North Texas get so close and Army win 10 games and Navy win 10, 11 games and, East Carolina win 9. And you start seeing like this rotation of teams that at least gets one season where they make the playoff or they're in the conversation late in the year. I think at some point you at least want to be in the conversation. And I know Rice, they got different academic standards. Like, it is what it is. But I do think as you start seeing all these other schools, like at least being in the conversation of having success, then the Rice fan base will want to see that. The admin, I think, is going to be as patient as it can be. Like I said, it's been a long time since they've had success. But I think you're right. I think you saw a little bit of improvement. I wonder if now it's year 2 of that offense in this conference, if some of the defensive coaches are, it's different from Army and Navy, but now you get some of the same concepts. So you start seeing it.
Yeah.
And is that 5 win, does that regress a little bit? I don't know. I mean, we shall see. But I don't think there's any pressure at all. What about at the South Florida Bulls, Jeff? My South Florida Bulls, Brian Hartline, big splash higher down there in Tampa.
Yeah, I know you got a particular take on this, so I'm gonna defer mainly to you. I'm gonna just say, I think Bulls fans are starting to have a pretty high expectation of their program. So I think there's gonna be a lot of eyes on Brian Hartline. I don't think there's any pressure to start this season, but they're gonna be watching. And they got, if my memory serves me correct, they have an easy schedule
compared to what it's been.
Correct. So
yeah,
I don't know. What do you think? I think you got to take on this.
Well, so I think this is the thing about South Florida is like, it's almost similar to Memphis, where like with Golish, it's like after a couple weeks into the season, you're thinking South Florida, we're going to the playoff. And then you kind of collapse. And so sort of like Memphis, where I don't think the fans were like super bummed about Golish leaving. I think they were more bummed about him saying that, he didn't think they could win a championship at South Florida, and he thinks they can at Auburn with half the same guys. But I also think those fans know like he's got everything he could ask for and more in year 1, as far as resources, as far as the schedule, as far as players. I think their fans are sitting there thinking like, dude, it is American championship or bust. And with an American championship probably comes a CFP berth. And then I also think, similar to what I said about Charles Huff, this guy was the offensive coordinator at Ohio State a year ago. So again, I don't want to be like, I hope this is not the case, but like, if they go win 10, 11 games, you're probably going to be hearing about Brian Hartline being the next coach at the next SEC school that opens or the next Big Ten school that opens up. So I think there's pressure on him is like, okay, I'm going to the place that was this close last year. And nobody would have blinked at that. People were upset about Tulane making the playoff and James Madison making the playoff. Nobody would have been upset about South Florida making the playoff based on what they had done until they had a late game collapse at Memphis. So I think for him, like, he's got that pressure because he wants to take the next step. I think the fans are like, what in the hell is going on here that these guys can't win here or can't win consistently here? Can't win 11 games here, 12 games here. Can't beat Florida and then lay an egg, against somebody else. That's what fans don't want. They want that consistency, and that's what you haven't seen as South Florida or Memphis. They're very similar in my mind.
Yeah.
And I think the fans are sick of the preseason hype and even the hype all the way up 6-7 games into the year. And then kind of a collapse. So I think it's win now. And I think it's again, it's play for the title at minimum. You win the title, you're probably in the playoff if you're South Florida.
If I was a Bulls fan, I'd want to know why the hell we can't keep a coach in Tampa, and they want to go to damn Auburn, Alabama, to go to a place, quite frankly, that
Auburn's pretty nice, Jeff.
Yeah, but
I was in Auburn today.
They're not going to win.
No.
Bad administration.
It ain't Tampa thow.
No, yeah, well,
and
that's
Auburn,
my thing. Like, yeah, Auburn might be nice. I'm picking Tampa all day long.
Yeah. I mean, me too. So, yeah. By the way, so did you see where I wanted to talk about this? We should talk about this at the beginning of the show, but before we get into Temple here, only because we were tweeted at about it. And you see where our boy John Summerall said he didn't know about 2 G5 teams being worthy of the playoff.
I'm gonna let it slide.
Yeah. Here's the thing. First of all, that guy, well, 2 ways. That guy showed us so much love from the jump the minute he became the head coach at Troy. And I'd like to say, I mean, we may have been the first podcast that guy went on as a head coach. We very well may have been.
I think so.
And probably started the hype train. So anyway, but I'll never say anything bad about the guy. Yeah, I'll never say anything bad about the guy because he's given us access to at Troy and Tulane that
whatever.
You know, right. I will say this. The Swag Bear and I had this conversation while golfing a couple toucans in. By the way, have you seen those toucan drinks?
No, you're telling me about them Saturday.
2 cans. It's 2 cans. It's like a rum and a Coke, and you twist the top off and pour it in, and then put the top back on. Yeah, I mean, it comes in a can. Anyway, in 2 cans. But anyway, we were talking about that, and this is my this is like my totally unbiased opinion is like sometimes there won't be 2, but sometimes there might be 3.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes this is why the auto bid thing is an issue or giving multiple auto bids per conference is because you're handcuffing it. There might be 6 SEC schools that are good enough one year, but not always. There might one year be 2, might be just 1. And same thing for the group of 5. Last year, we were sitting on here. We were saying, I don't know, man, James Madison's probably better than Tulane. We were saying it before the championship game. We got a lot of crap for it. But anyway, so last year, yeah, man, probably could have been just 1, if any. 2 years ago, Boise absolutely deserved. UNLV probably could have been there. West Army could have damn well been there. And I think those 3 teams,
Army.
Huh?
Nothing. I would have loved to see Army with Captain America.
Oh, me too. Me too. No question. That's my honest opinion. Is will there always be 2? No, but there's not always 2 in any conference or anything. And so that's what me and Jesse were talking about is well, then it should just be the 24 or the 12 best teams. And I was like, sure. But we just don't know that yet. You don't know what 12 are the best until they play. And then the problem is if you leave it up to human beings who have inherent biases, whether it be a conference or a preseason ranking or a brand or whatever it is, it will always be skewed and you'll never get it without the auto bids. Now, 1 auto bid for every conference champion, and the rest at large media can vote them in, computers, hey, go for it.
Solves it.
Go for it. But that's the thing is I hate that we handcuff it as, there can only be 1 group of 5 team. But then Boise State with a generational player beats UNLV, who that Hodge Malik Williams UNLV team with Ricky White and those guys and those boys with Barry Odom's defense. I mean, that was a squad now. So, I mean, but they ran into a generational team in Boise State. You didn't have that team this year, but you had 2 teams that were pretty good. And maybe next year, maybe Tulane and James Madison are both really good and Boise's really good. Now what are you going to do? You can't sit here and say, well, only one of these teams is good enough. Anyway, it's my 2 cents, Jeff.
I agree. Pretty simple. 10 auto bids, 14 at large. Let's roll.
Yeah. Temple, Casey Keeler. I think for him, I think it's almost 0 because I don't think anyone outside of his own staff is really expecting much out of Temple, just because you look at the conference and everybody's going to think, okay, yeah, USF, Tulane, Memphis, North Texas, Army, Navy, and Temple's sitting there. East Carolina is going to have some hype. Temple's sitting there. And, here's what I'll say about Temple. I say all that, but then I say, look, dude, it wasn't that long ago when Matt Rule puts up back-to-back 10-win seasons. Steve Adazio has a 9-win season. Al Golden has a 9-win season, an 8-win season. So Temple's had some success relatively recently. And so I think I think there's right now it's like that honeymoon phase. They're excited about the possibility of that coming back, but they're not yet to the point where like it better be back. But I think they're going to expect some improvement again. And I think, we talked about it all season about those teams up there in the Northeast. There's a lot of good ball clubs up there, and Temple's got a chance to be one of them. That's for damn sure. But I think for now, not a ton of not a ton of pressure coming from anybody, probably besides his own office.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It was self-pressure for sure. Wanting to improve on a 5-7 year last year. It was a different Temple team. This is a team last year. You walked out there, you had to be ready to go because they played a physical brand of football. I mean, he basically took, what he did was doing at Sam Houston, took it up to Temple, and I was, a little unsure when they made that hire, but I think he did a hell of a job last year, and I think they should look to improve on that 5-7.
Yeah, I agree. The problem is, man, is like you just look at this conference and it's like, and any conference is going to be like this. It's like all these guys got some pressure. Well, somebody's not going to win. You know what I mean? Somebody's not going to win this thing. Tulane, man. Will Hall's got some pressure, bro.
Yeah, he does.
Hey, mostly from the fans. And Tulane, man, it is quick. But now you've had 2 straight coaches that have been, New Year's Bowl, playoff berth. So now that's the expectation in New Orleans. Willie Fritz didn't have that pressure. John Summerall had that pressure. But Will Hall has got that pressure, buddy. And he especially has that pressure because one of the main reasons they hired him was to, quote unquote, keep the continuity there. So, okay, you got it. And it looked like he knows that. You don't take that job without knowing that.
Exactly.
Without being excited about that. I don't think that there's any administration pressure there. Not in year one. I mean, again, you lose a lot. And this is the risk that you run if you want to become a top program, especially in the group of 5 or group of 6, is you run the risk of we're going to have this coach for 2 years. We're hoping for a New Year's Bowl or we're hoping for a playoff appearance, and then he's out. And at what point does it catch up to you? That's going to be the question. And so for Will Hall, the pressure is don't be the guy that doesn't do it,
Yeah. Don't be the guy that fumbled the bag, right? I mean, I think he's got the most pressure.
Speaking of fumbling the bag in New Orleans.
Glad you caught my reference. Yeah, I think Will Hall probably has the most pressure out of any coach in the American. I think some of that's probably unfair, but that's just the reality of it is the fan base has this high expectation and they want to win. And we talk to a lot of people who are boots on the ground. Some were like, okay with the hire. A lot of people were not. So you always got that too.
Well, and that's going to be a pressure that he's going to, because like let's not pretend like these guys don't know whether they win the press conference or not. So like there would be nothing better as a coach, as a former player at whatever. These guys are like almost competitive. They're almost delusional in what they think that they're capable of. And I'm not saying Will Hall's delusional, but I'm just saying like, damn well in his mind, he wants even more to go win to prove those people that didn't like the hire wrong. Almost more than just winning because they love winning and they want to do right and they want to win a championship. It's like proving people wrong is the ultimate feeling as a competitor. And I promise you, they know that in that building. And if he can get those players to buy into his message and they play for him that way because they also want to prove people wrong, then you're going to have yourself a little squad down there. And you got a chance. But here's the thing. But, here's the thing. I mentioned multiple coaches. You look at the last 10 years, and really since they started playing the championship game in this conference, the teams that have won the conference outside of Tulane and Memphis and Army, everybody else is no longer in the American. Cincinnati, UCF, they're gone. Houston, they're gone. So, like, when you look at this conference, it's been pretty much dominated. The teams that are left, it's been Tulane and Memphis. And so, which one of those is going to be the one that falls off, or which one's going to be the one that ascends? And so that's part of the reason why these guys got some pressure. This is an interesting one. This next one, Jeff. Tulsa, Trey Lamb.
I don't think there's a ton of pressure on Trey Lamb. I think he's got very, very high expectations of himself. I know he believes in what he's doing there. The admin's behind him. 4-8 a year ago. They're going to want to see an improvement, and I think he can get it done. It's just been tough sledding for every coach that's pretty much come through Tulsa's program in the last several years.
Yeah, I think most of the pressure is going to be from himself, and I think he's got a way of doing that on purpose, putting pressure on himself. Some of the things he would say post game after beating Oklahoma State and those things, and some of the things he said, to us even about the city of Tulsa and about the way they can recruit. They did a lot of cool stuff this offseason, getting some hype around that program, getting some fan support around that program. So year one was nice, right? You have a win against Army. You beat Oklahoma State. That's cool. But now you got to start winning more conference games. I don't think, again, there's tiers in the expectations of this conference. It's like, I don't think Tulsa's got to go beat Memphis or go beat Tulane or go beat South Florida. But I don't think Tulsa can be in the same conversation with UAB and Rice. I think you got to get in the mix now with FAU and Temple and try to get up. Maybe you're just below in East Carolina in tiers, which East Carolina, by the way, if Mr. Vaughn don't get offended, I think East Carolina has got a chance now. But I'm just saying, when you look at the standings from last year, I think Tulsa's got to take a jump. And I think Trey Lamb, he's another guy. This is a young guy that's been climbing the rankings. So, whether or not he wants the next Oklahoma State job, or maybe he wants the next, job in this conference, that's maybe a higher paying job or a more, spotlight kind of job. But I think he's put all that pressure on himself by just the confidence that he's exuded. But from the fans and from the admin, I think the fans are probably just kind of happy to have him.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think he wants that pressure on himself because I think it drives him. So I'm excited to see what they can do in year two. And that's one place I want to get to Tulsa. I've heard
he sold us.
I know.
He sold me on it.
Oh, that old money.
They got it. They got that damn old money. Birmingham, UAB, Alex Mortensen was the interim, of course. They played hard for him at the end of the year last year. Of course, they had that interim head coach bump that they all get. But UAB is like such a fascinating study. Like you're not far removed from not even having a program, but then you're also not far removed from Bill Clark coming to Murfreesboro and winning a conference in front of 3,000 screaming Blue Raider fans, half of which were in our box. but I think some of their home games last year, you just feel for the program. You really do. I don't think he's got any pressure.
Yeah, zero.
The pressure there is he wants to make a name for himself, and he wants to do it probably for his staff and those players more than anything else. I think that's a place where, I'm not saying you ever say screw the fans or, screw the admin or whatever, but I feel like, Middle got to that point in the last few years, probably of stock, where it was like, we don't care about anybody except for who's in this building. I'm not saying our class, but the trend started happening in our last year, really, I would say. But it got to that point where it was like there's this dissension amongst the athletic department and the university and the football program. And there's also this dissension amongst like the players and their classmates, the non-athletes, the other sports even. And so like that pressure there is just like, who cares what the fans think, what the admin thinks, what anybody thinks? Like, it's just about us in this building. And that might be a recipe for success for them.
Yeah. I would say zero pressure on Mortensen. I mean, you're basically, starting from literally ground zero outside of the carryover from last year. I just don't think fan expectations that high. You have a few fans, that remember greatness, but I just don't think there's a lot of pressure out there. Their fan base is kind of dwindled over the last. I mean, a lot of them just with Dilfer was ready to just wash their hands of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, and I know a lot of them don't like the admin either. So, a lot of similarities with our Blue Raiders. I'll just leave it at that.
But you're in, and I know that's not what this episode is about, but you're in Birmingham. I mean, you've got high school powerhouses up the road. I mean, you've got the Hoovers, the Spain Parks, the Vestavia Hills, the Mountain Brooks, right there. The Thompsons. I mean, you've got to be in those halls, recruiting those kids out of high school, and you've got to be playing for second on some kids that think they're going to go up to the Big Ten and they don't like it because it's too cold. And you get them back down there to Birmingham. They got a great stadium. They've got the I've talked about this before. Their little village or whatever you want to call it that they've built around that stadium is set up to be awesome on game day. You got to win a couple games. Last one, Jeff. I know we got a voicemail or two we can get to, or maybe we can save it for next time. But Jeff Traylor at UTSA, Jeff, he is the reason that I have sort of flipped my opinion on coaches leaving, because 2-3 years ago, he probably could have had almost any job he wanted. And now it's almost like you might be on the hot seat if this season doesn't go a little better. And so anyway, I say all that to say, buddy, I think he's got a lot of pressure. I think he's in a similar, like I would say in the American, I think it goes like Will Hall, Jeff Traylor, like right behind him. And then Huff and Hartline are probably right there. Huff, Hartline, Neil Brown are kind of right behind them. But for him, you think like 2 years removed from being one of the hottest names in coaching, and now you might be job on the line. And I think for him too, even though while what he says is probably correct, I think the fans are a little bit tired of the not complaining, but the asking, like more money, more resources. Like that's true. But I think sometimes the fans get tired of hearing it, especially the ones that do pour their time and energy into the program. That like, dude, I'm here every Saturday, man. I'm donating to whatever fundraiser you got. And like, we can't just win the home games. You know what I'm saying? And that's all they got to do. Like, they're so close every year. It's like you think they're bad, and then they get to this 2 years ago, they get Tulane at home, and you're like, oh my God, this is the best team in the conference. And then they're totally different outside of the dome.
Yeah, I think there's a decent amount of pressure on them from parts of the fan base for sure. I don't know anything about the admin. I think the admin's fairly happy with them. I mean, you've been a successful program, obviously. Conference championship last year in Conference USA in 2022. But I think they expect a championship berth. I would think this year. I mean, they've been kind of just lingering around, middle of the pack. Like you said, great at home. The dome is a different place, but you got to be able to transition some of that on the road and get some road conference wins. So I agree with your assessment of where he is. I'd say he's about number 2, number 3, as far as and self pressure on himself too, right? Because he's been
100%.
He's been very vocal about different things and support and all. So, yeah.
Well, and here's the other
I love
part.
the Roadrunners, though, man. I want to see them.
Oh, I do too. I mean, I think I had them winning the damn conference last year. I think they'll be good again this year.
Yeah.
But the other part that adds fuel to that fire too is they've lost their last 2 to the Bobcats, Texas State, including at home.
I hate to say it, like, you don't want to lose to your rival, but lost the last 2 rounds. I don't know how much of a rivalry that is.
Yes, you have. But and it, like, going back to my point about the coaches leaving, it's like, and especially in today's era, is this like when you got a team, like, you gotta hit. Like, when you got the guys, like, you're probably only going to have them for a year. So, like, and this was a little bit before the portal and NIL just really blew up. But, like, when they had, I'm not even going to remember any of them, but they had
Franklin,
3 receivers.
Zachary Franklin.
They had the running back. They had the quarterback. That, like, they were there. That was their squad. And they were damn good. But, like, then you gotta hit then, and you gotta keep the thing going, because otherwise it's like, okay, now what? And that's what I was talking about with, like, Navy and Army. It's like, okay, well, you had it at West Point. Like, you had it, you won the conference, great. Now those guys are gone. So now what? Now's when we really see how's your recruiting, how's your development, how's this, how's that. So, we'll see what the old Roadrunners do this year. Jeff, you want to get to the voicemail, or do you want to?
Yeah, might as well knock
get a couple voicemails. Look, got a hot take. So
3 weeks.
We'll go through every conference doing this. As far as pressure on the coaches, we'll probably switch it up a little bit. Probably do Conference USA next. I know everybody wants to probably see what kind of pressure Jamie Chadwell has on up there in Lynchburg. But the hotline, 615-900-4286. Call us with your hot takes, maybe some predictions, maybe some, just get us excited. By the time we play these next ones, it's going to be June. So, I mean, guys, we got June, July, and then we got ball in August.
It's crazy.
So we'll be ready to roll. 615-900-4286. Jeff, what do we got?
Hey, Group of 5 guys, Tom here. A long time no talk. Need to apologize. I've been an avid listener of pretty much every episode since 2021 when I started.
Respect.
I have had to have a complete mental break and detox. Going 1-11 with Charlotte is, that required some time off for me. But I think I've got enough rest time to flush that season away, well, as much as I can. That was brutal. And I'll be back now for the foreseeable. Looking forward to, the schedule previews and all that stuff that'll be coming out soon, I'm sure. But yeah, just wanted to check in. Appreciate you guys doing what you do as always. Looking forward to our non-conference, well, as much as I can after being 1-11. We've got a slightly more manageable non-con this year. We've got, Ole Miss loss, but we've got App State away, Louisville Louisiana at home, who replaced Louisville, and then the Citadel. A bad team wins 1, a decent team wins 2, and a good team wins 3. So I gotta hope maybe we can pluck 2 out of there. But yeah, just wanted to check in because it had been a while. Hope you guys are doing well. I hope everything's going well in your lives. And yeah, looking forward to the next episode. Take care and have a great day, guys.
And a great team wins all 4, Tom.
You're damn right they do. Yeah, well, the great teams cover all 4. I mean, that's the key there.
That's right.
They probably gonna be dogs, but everything is going great, Tom. Appreciate you, pal. We gotta get back into it. Jeff and I have been. I realize we've been a little bit inconsistent, maybe, on the shows over the last few weeks. Lot going on, man.
A lot of moving parts.
And I don't think that it's gonna slow down anytime soon. So look, if you know somebody that has maybe like a company or something like that that's willing to foot the bill for some of this stuff, we'd be glad to do it. Be glad to do it full damn time. That's all I want to do. Jeff, is that too much to ask?
I don't think so.
All I want to do is, let's just hypothetically, Jeff, say like week 1 of this year, there was a game in, I don't know, Harrisonburg. Okay. I don't know. Haven't looked at the schedule. I don't know if Liberty's playing up there or not. But all I want to do is, if there's a game on a Saturday, all I want to do is get up there Thursday night, scope out the town, hang out, have a cold snack, and then on Thursday night, I want to wake up Friday morning, do a nice tour of the place, maybe do a show, maybe play a round of golf at one of the local facilities. Then I want to go to the game Saturday, and then I want to go home. That's all I want to do.
That's it.
It is not that. I mean, it's just not too much to ask, is it?
With all the stuff out there these days on the social media and television, I mean, I think somebody would buy into it, but
hey,
we're trying.
Anyway,
good to hear from you, Tom, though.
It is good.
Dude,
Charlotte, man, like
one of my favorite places.
We always talk about it. Yeah, that was one of the best times, and that was even kind of a half measure because the tailgate was closed down because of the coronavirus.
The Normulence was not.
No, it was not. No, it was not.
All right, let's get to our last
what
one.
else we got?
Group of 5 guys, Josh Bevel here. I just wanted to call and make a little complaint, which is stupid by me, why I'm even reading these dumb articles anyway, because the number one source of Group of 5, or I guess Group of 6 now, is you guys, the Group of 5 guys, obviously. But this article that I was reading, it came out on May 15th from Bill Connolly of ESPN. And it's a pretty shitty article, excuse my language. He goes through all the Sun Belt schools, this and that, breaks down each team, blah, blah, blah. First, for JMU, half the freaking article, he talked about Kirk Signetti. It's like, well, I mean, JMU and Bob Chesney just had an incredible year. I mean, give Bob Chesney some credit here. I mean, some of those guys some credit. I mean, yeah, Signetti was great there. Couldn't win in Paulson Stadium, I might add. But he hasn't been there in several years. So, I mean, come on. But then, of course, the Georgia Southern one just really grinds my gears. First off, he calls Coach Moots, our new defensive coordinator, a former Georgia State assistant. Well, he never coached at Georgia State, and you also are obviously talking about Georgia Southern because he used to coach at Georgia Southern. I mean, come on. And then it's just, he talks about Fabo Chaney. Oh, he's a corner. Well, he's a safety. And he also talks about Aaron Sears, who he says is a corner, but is also a safety. I understand D-back, but two different positions. I don't quite understand with these ESPN guys. They don't do their research, to be quite honest with you. I don't get it. They're stupid. I hate them. Screw ESPN. God bless the Group of 5. I guess 6. God bless the Group of 5 guys. Hail Southern. Can't wait for football season, fellas. See ya.
Good to hear from you, Josh.
Everybody makes mistakes, okay? But, like, we have, okay? We've done it. We've tweeted out something stupid, wrong stat, wrong team, wrong something before. Said it on the show. Probably said it today. Probably said the wrong coach on one of these. We probably went on a whole spiel about a head coach. But these guys, like, that's your job, bro. Like, you got an editing team, you got a publishing team, you got a stats team, you got analytics team. Like, this ain't just like one guy putting together an article. And I hate to say it, but dude, a lot of them are using AI now. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if that happened. Like, dude, if I go to do, like, we've been doing these these posts about legendary players. And if all you do is like Google Jeff Murphy, Middle Tennessee, like AI will spit out some stuff and you'll be like, I know that ain't damn true. You know what I mean? And so, but I think, like, if you're a guy that doesn't like pay any attention to this, and you're just trying to put out an article, dude, it'd be real easy to ask ChatGPT, write me an article, write me a 5-minute read, break down the Sun Belt Conference, returning players, new players, transfer players, and coaches. And it'll tell you all about Kurt Signetti. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And James Madison, because it'll be a little bit accurate, but not all the way.
Bottom line is you just got a bunch of hacks that work for these companies, and maybe we're just thinking they're getting paid a lot of money to do it, and they're not, so they don't really care. But it's bad. I mean, there you got Braun graphics going up on, Thursday night games, and
they do that often on TV. I mean, that's when it's bad.
It's bad.
Yeah,
it's bad.
Yeah,
I agree. A couple guys in the chat are saying Josh is in week 0 form. I agree. He's always ready.
Well, and Josh last season was, when did he have his baby? Mid-season, I'm fairly certain.
Yeah, I think so.
So I mean, he's going to be firing on all cylinders come fall.
He's going to be dialed.
Because that when you're leading up to it, you got a lot going on. You're trying to get things going, and then even after, it's something new in your life. But now, now it's part of your life. So now it's like he's going to be rocking, especially if the Eagles rattle off a few W's. But anyway, appreciate you guys, Tom, Josh. Thanks for calling in. 615-900-4286 is the hotline number. Appreciate everybody being back. Felt like we had a good chat going tonight. I feel like we're in the swing of things. We're going to talk through these coaches. And then, Jeff, it's probably going to be time for conference previews by the time we run through this thing.
Yeah, pretty close. I'll bring my stuff with me next week. Maybe doing a balcony show right on the beach. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Ain't nothing wrong with a balcony show. Sometimes those are the best.
We'll see.
You get about, dude. Are you gonna be on Eastern Time Zone when you're there?
Panama
City is
Central.
I never remember.
I don't know.
I don't like Destin in that Central, but
we got a 2 p.m. and a 4 p.m. game on Wednesday.
Oh, brother.
So
I mean, the games don't go 5 hours.
I know, but I'm not doing a show at 9 o'clock.
But you could be on the balcony, dude. You could be, everybody will be sound asleep. You could be on there overlooking the ocean waves. I mean,
no, we'd be going to Club La Vila.
That place is long gone. I mean, there's probably something else though. But anyway, we appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate you guys listening as we get ready for the summer, which means it's close to football season. Like I said, June, July, and then we got ball in August. So we are close. If you like the show, make sure you hit subscribe on wherever you get your best podcasts, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Believe Network. Follow us on all the social media platforms at Group of Five Guys. Most importantly, tell your family and friends all about the Group of Five Guys presented by FanDuel and tell them to subscribe. Have a great rest of your Wednesday evening. Have a great rest of the week. We'll see you when we see you.